Hi, everybody. This is Nate, and I am so glad to see you again for this video and wanted to thank you so much for the support for the channel. Of course, please remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. What we will be doing today is look at a Lenormand Grand Tableau setup for Tulsi Gabbard. And so I will share with you the 36 cards. Like it's a very similar work that I've done for Trump a couple weeks ago. And we will be kind of trying to understand what's going on around Tulsi Gabbard and what might happen in relation to her new position of, Director of Intelligence for the United States, newly appointee. Before that, just wanted to remind you that this weekend on Sunday, always have the live readings with me. For personal readings, you can ask a question, a card, and it's at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And also a reminder that I am doing a Foundations of Tarot class. It's a 2 hours workshop. It will be recorded, so you don't have to be present. And that's on March 15, Saturday, March 15. And you will have, the opportunity to attend the workshop. It's $75 for 2 hours. And again, this is not a class where, we go over like a book would do, card by card, trying to get all the different meanings. Of course, we'll talk about the meaning, but it's more about how to get you started to read the tarot and build a relationship with the cards. So that's on March 15, and the information is on the channel. There's a video that talks about it, there's a post that talks about it. So now, with no further ado, I am going to give you a little bit of information about Tulsi Gabbard. This is an article that I got from The Guardian, and I wanted to kind of introduce her as we start this reading. And then I will share with you the tableau, and we will go from there. So, Trump obviously chose Tulsi Gabbard to be the next director of national intelligence. It's a powerful position that is really on top of the nation's spy agencies and acts as the president top intelligence advisor. Top intelligence advisor. Gabbard is a veteran. She served for more than 2 decades, but she doesn't have the intelligence experience that people in this position had before. It's important to note that she left the Democratic Party in 2022 and she endorsed Trump earlier this year. We know that. She was the first Hindu elected to Congress. She's 43. She was born in the U.S. Territory of American Samoa, raised in Hawaii. She spent a year in the Philippines when she was a child. She was first elected as a 21-year-old to Hawaii's House of Representatives, and she left after one term when her National Guard unit was deployed to Iraq. She was later elected to Congress. She represented the state of Hawaii. Aloha to all of you who are watching from Hawaii. She was indeed the first Hindu member of the House. And she was sworn into office with her hand on the Bhagavad Gita. If I hope I pronounced this right, but it's basically the Hindu devotional work. She was also the first American Samoan elected to Congress. She was in the House. She became known for speaking out against her party leadership, so the Democratic leadership. She supported Bernie Sanders in 2016, and she was popular back then. She is married to a cinematographer, Abraham Williams. Her father, Mike Gabbard, is a state senator who was first elected as a Republican and then switched party to become a Democrat. She saw the Democratic nomination for president in 2020. on a progressive platform, but she was opposed to US, and I should say and rather than but, she was opposed to US involvement in the foreign military conflicts. She used her military experience, argued that the US wars in the Middle East destabilized the region, made the US less safe, and cost a lot of lives. She blamed the Democrat Party for not opposing the war. Um, she criticized Kamala Harris during the debate, during the primary debate. She dropped out of the race and endorsed Joe Biden. 2 years later, she left the Democratic Party, became an independent. And she said that the Democratic Party was dominated, quote, by an elitist cabal of warmongers and woke ideologues. She became a contributor to Fox News. She said that she cannot recognize the Democratic Party she joined 20 years ago. She endorsed Trump earlier this year. She's been getting the support from the Trump supporters. She often appeared next to Robert Kennedy Jr. And she helped Trump, basically, preparing for the debate against Harris this year. Yes, she did the debate prep for Trump against Harris. In October, and that didn't really work. In October, she announced that she was becoming a Republican, calling the current Democratic Party completely unrecognizable. And so she really became a Republican, not just a Republican, but a MAGA. She was given roles in the presidential transition, and she had a lot of influence already. She served in the Army National Guard for more than 2 decades. She was deployed, like I said, to Iraq and Kuwait. She hasn't held any senior government roles. She served for 2 years on the House Homeland Security Committee. Trump said that he wants to overhaul the nation's intelligence services, a sector of the federal government that he has suspicion and distrust about. Trump has characterized the Intelligence Committee as a deep state, and basically talking about cleaning it up, corrupt actors. And in 2023, Trump said the department and agencies that have been weaponized will be completely overhauled. The role that Gabbard has, the director of national intelligence, was created in 2004, after the September 11, 2001 attacks. The office played a key role in the government effort to identify and expose efforts by Russia, China, Iran to spread false and misleading claims about voting and democracy ahead of the US election. So other divisions of the national intelligence focus on cyber threats, counterterrorism, and counter-espionage. She is leading the whole intelligence aspect involving all those elements. She's been criticized with her connections with Russia, with Assad as well. And basically what we'll be looking at now is her tableau, which is, I need to explain a little bit if you're not familiar. It's a layout of 36 cards, and certain cards are being charged, meaning that they represent certain elements. So basically what happens when I do these type of readings, I focus on the person, which is the woman. That would be Tulsi Gabbard. And I will walk you through the different things we're going to see on this chart. A little bit like, to some degree, like an astrological chart, because I will refer to houses. I know this might be complicated if it's your first one, but please don't get overwhelmed. I'm gonna go slow. I'm gonna go with you at your pace, and we are gonna start right now. So let me share the Tableau. And you should be seeing the full Tableau right now. All right, so let's get started. And I hope you can put this on a screen where you can see the cards. This is the biggest view that I can create within my technology environment. So those represent the Lenormand cards. I want you to basically realize that there is 4 rows of 8 cards and a small row, which is called usually the destiny, with the destiny row with 4 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of 8 cards, that's 32, and four cards at the bottom. 32 plus 4 equals 36. Here are the full 36 cards that are involved here in this reading. And now I'm gonna go and discuss the positions of the cards, the meaning of the cards, and their relations with one another. So let's first locate Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard is a woman, and this is basically a card here that I am gonna mark as a star here. This is, I'm gonna make multiple stars. This is the woman. You can see there's a woman here. So first of all, when we look at the position of the woman, which would be herself, we see that she is at the mid-center of the tableau, but in fairly close to the left. And so mid-center, there's 2 rows above and technically 2 rows at the bottom. It means that she has basically a good balance between her free will and also her karmic destiny. What is above are the things that she cannot control. It's above her. What is below is basically what she's dealing with. So she's in the middle here in that 3rd row. And so she is basically in a good position. There's part destiny, there's part control. So we see her in this position. I'm going to talk a little bit about the cards that are on the 4 corners. So the first one on the left-hand corner is the scythe. It's this card here. And we see the scythes, it is usually about harvesting or something that got removed and cut. Okay. In this case, I really feel like there's a sense of harvesting. She has been working very hard. This would represents the recent past in this column here. And so she's been, she's been very, very much working hard to get the results of her work, her, one could say opportunistic, but her political agenda. And so she's harvesting the plants that she put a seed on, basically. She planted the seed and she's harvesting. What we see in diagonal is the bouquet. The bouquet, which is here in the lower corner here. And we see that it is basically the result, the award, what she won, right? The bouquet is basically something that she received, job well done, or an award, or a title, which is basically the director of national intelligence. So she's harvested and she received the position. Okay? Now let's look at this other corner right here. We have a house here. And the house is basically what I charge with being the White House. So she harvested, she got a position where? In the White House. Very, very, very clearly, right? We'll see around it that there seems to be quite a few complications and it ties to a man, but you probably already have an idea what is this man, but we're not quite there yet. In diagonal, the other corner here would be this card here, which is the clouds. And so the clouds, there's a couple meanings here, is that you see she's harvesting the results of her quote unquote work. But the clouds are a big factor on how she got this position. The bouquet represents the position. And the clouds represent the alternance of sun, clouds, blue sky, clouds. Basically, the clouds is that flip-flop energy, not very clear. And so we know that she had a lot of flip-flop. Obviously, the biggest one that I described a bit earlier represent going from Democrat to Republican. But the same applies to her views on same-sex marriage or on abortion. She flip-flopped a few times there. So I'm going to recap where we are. This woman, Tulsi Gabbard, I'm circling it here. And if you want to remember where she's out, right here. Right here. She's harvesting the work by basically being, one could say, opportunistic on her position, flip-flopping on her position. It got her the job at the White House. Now let's look a little bit of, here. What do we have here? We have the whip. The whip here represents action. So she's been very, very active, to receive, to basically get where she wants to be. Very, very ambitious person. And not a complete surprise here that we got the clover here. The clover represents a very opportunistic person. Very opportunistic person, which she is. The flip-flop, the opportunities are here. And next to it, I have to get here this arrow here, looking at where this is going. Actually, it's more like here. The opportunistic also turn into this snake. So the snake is really vicious, obviously, and it's not the opportunity. You can be opportunistic, but in this case, there's also someone who can bite you, right? There's like flip on you. We had the flipping energies here with the clouds, but we also see turning possibly into a snake, right? And then the lily that we have here, to me, represent a little bit a person that to get to where she wants to get works very hard, is very opportunistic, can turn on people, but also can present a nice face. It's almost like, the lily represents I'm for peace, basically, which she had a lot of voices for peace, doesn't want the US to be in a conflict, etc. So this explains a little bit this corner here. The other corner explains a little bit how she got her job, the position of Director of National Security. She got it. We get the bouquet very, very clearly. It came, the writer represents the news. So obviously the news here led to, right, the bouquet. And there's two other cards here that I want to mention. The cross, which represents to stress, pain, sometimes suffering. The mice here, that's also representing a loss. And so it feels like her confirmation, as we know, hasn't been very easy. You see, there's been pain, suffering, news coming, and the idea of the mice here, which makes those two cards makes this bouquet very, very, very hard. We obviously have an important man here, which I'm sure you know who that is. And that person here, I'm going to put a star, multiple star, actually. This is Trump. I charge him as Trump. So you can see that Trump obviously had an impact directly into her nomination, right? Because he pushed it through, and that basically how she got the position. She got the position because of her connection with him, and we're gonna have to analyze this direct line over here in a little bit. But kind of going back, we have here the position that she secured with difficulties, lots of difficulties, but she did get it. The White House here, I'm going to leave that for a little bit later because it ties very much to Trump being here, right? Now, let's talk about this corner here, the clouds, which we said was her flip-flop energies. And yes, definitely is the flip-flop energy. But we also see the difficulties that this created for her. This was not easy, the mountain here, to present. And so she's had her share of difficulties, and the book here represents the secrets. So that to me is a very big aspect in her chart. The book, the closed book, represents the secrets. She basically connects, she sits, she stands on those secrets. Right? This is a big deal. Those secrets, those deals, those information, which is kind of very ironic because this is someone who's going to be the director of national intelligence, and she's already have her share of secrets. Okay. So now let's see what ties her to Trump. And it's basically this energy here. So what do we have? We have the tree, which could be a sense of a past life connection. a karmic connection, something where obviously they have something, they're connected, and so it makes sense. It's almost like in a romance, it could be a soulmate. The next cards makes a lot of sense. The letter, the message. They had communication, and then the tower could also be seen as the White House, right? It's more like the government in a way. So she has a direct line to Trump. Very, very, very connected. What was interesting in the last tableau is that Trump was on top of Musk was on top of uh, Musk. Musk was on top of Trump. This is not the case here. They are in an equal line. Okay. What is interesting is she almost feels like, do you get this energy here from the tableau that it is pushing Trump to the right? It is pushing Trump. It is influencing Trump. And where it's bringing Trump to more difficulties, stress, but a big one here is this coffin, right? That leads Trump to some challenges and difficulties because look what we see on the diagonal. We see some stress. We see the coffin, which has to deal with ending, crossroad, choices, decision, departure, possibly, and then the White House, and then even the fox here looks like a very sneaky way of doing this. The snake, again, she's acting as a snake, and it has this sort of influence or push towards Trump. Trump, with the cards next to him, yes, there's a sun currently with him diagonally, vertically. So he has some positive energies going for him at the moment. But look at the impression that this line does, where she gives him some sort of information, and that brings him problem, stress, endings, even, and ties to the White House. So that is a big, I feel, information I feel like we're getting from this chart is that I could see Tulsi Gabbard being a very big problem for Trump as it brings it towards negative energies, maybe related to information and more. There's a lot here that we haven't looked at, but I do see the stress, the endings, the choices, and it all ties to the White House. So that to me is a big issue for Trump, as she is on the same line, but seems to create problems for him, almost to a sense of pushing him out. You can see that from this combination here. Okay, another thing that I wanted to bring up is her health, which is the tree. So in the Lenormand, health represents the tree. And so we have health here. And what do we see? Obviously, we see the snake. So a possible problem with our health, physical or mental, and it's touching the heart. So if I was talking to her today, I could say that there may be a risk of health issues related to her heart. Okay. And this letter here could be seen as a prescription, a doctor prescription. So something here, surprisingly, I never heard anything about her health, but there seems to be an issue here. Now, something that I said was very important is these secrets here. And what do we see near the secret? We have the birds, communications with others, and the ship, the international. And what do we see right below it? A ring, which represents deals, and a bear, which represents Russia, which is international. The secrets would be represented by the moon. So this part here is really, really interesting at the bottom, which is also one of the most important aspect of the reading is this area here. We have the secrets, the discussions with the birds, the boat, which represents international. We have the bear, Russia. We have the moon. We have the ring, which talks about deals. She sits on a series of secrets, conversations, and deals, the ring, with Russia, and double secrets here. The moon represents all the shadow stuff. And you see how one could say this is actually quite fascinating. Another aspect here. First is that there's some money involved, business with the fish. The fish represents business in the Lenormand. But do you see how it goes from moon, dark, to light, the sun, here, right above Trump? So it's almost like secrets. Secrets are being revealed related to Russia, the deals, the secrets, the conversation that she's been involved with that lead to these difficulties for Trump and the White House and the stress. The sun in this configuration is not a positive card. It's the secrets that are being put under, like if everything is exposed. The sun exposed all of this, all of this, all of this. So what do we have here is that we have confirmations of secret deals for entertainment purposes only between her and Russia. We have foreign deals and affairs in the background, secrets, and I believe that this is going to create issues for Trump. Some of those secrets will be revealed. It creates problems, stress, endings all the way back to the White House. Let's talk about certain cards here that we haven't looked into. The last one here, the stork. The stork represents something new, news, like a baby. So look at this configuration. The secrets are exposed and are bring up to light. A birth of the secrets. Okay. Now let's look at here. There is a dog here, which would be a person. I've associated Musk to be this person, a key person. So let's just think that for a second that it's Musk. The reason that I feel like it could be is because we have the stars, Starlink, space. You see the connection. And what do we see at the top of all this is Musk. And so I'm going to put here as a third person here, or let me just actually, to be consistent, remove and add a star. This is the third key person next to the key. The woman, Gabbard, Trump, the man, the dog, being Musk. Musk here, as you can see, it's funny, you can see it's next to the child, bringing X and his children here into the the White House, not very far from the White House. And so we see here that there's a sense of Musk being there, holding everything with the anchor, and also being very visible with the guard and the general public, sneaky person in the White House. So this gives us the tableau. And what I'm going to do now, which is looking at another aspect, it's basically the second half of this reading, where I'm going to look at houses. So what are houses? So let me explain a little bit the concept. You see that all these cards have a number. It might be small, but 34, 31, 9. And so the meaning of each card is also represented on their position. Example, number 1, the rider. That's the first card, which represents news. So you see the horse brings some news. That would be in the position here of the scythe. And so what message, what news are coming, because this is the rider, the harvesting is what just arrived because it's in the position the um, of the rider. So let me explain a little bit more. We're going to look at the positions for each of some of the main topics. So let's just start with the White House. The White House that we see here, and I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Okay, the White House that we see here is in position number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, guess what? In the Lenormand, it's the coffin. You see this coffin has the number 8 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How strange that the house, the White House, is in the house of the coffin, which means endings or transformation. So there's something, again, that is pushing us here to understand there's an ending, there's a transformation, there's something not going right here. First aspect. Now let's actually, since we're talking of the coffin, this ending of transformation, let's look into what house this falls into. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And that is the house of the bear, which has to deal with Russia and money. And so you can see here that this is a double connection here. The White House, you can see the Russian influence, and there's an ending. It's almost like something is being put to the views that are bringing a complete transformation into Trump and the connection with the White House. It's very, very interesting. Okay, the woman, Gabbard, she's in 8, 16, 17, 18. She's in the house of the dog, which would mean that she also has some sort of connection with Musk. Musk, being the dog, is in position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is the tree. So the tree could be health or also a personal karmic connection. They all seem to be karmically connected. Actually, as a matter of fact, can you see here the triangle this is creating? Like a pyramid. Okay? I'm going to clean that up because I know it could be hard to follow. Okay. All right. So we were looking at Gabbard. Now let's look at Trump. 8, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 would be the house of the crossroad, a choice or a decision. Interesting. Facing decisions. Okay. Now let's look at The Secret, the book. 8, 16, 24, 25, 26, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. The book is in position 26. Guess what is the house of the book right now? The book itself. You see this 26 here? Not this one, but this one. 26 is the book, and the book is in the 26th position, meaning that it's a double, the highlight is on the secret and the deal. All right, let's continue here a little bit. The ship, 27, 28. In this house, the ship will represent international in the house of the man, which could be easily Trump or Musk. Let's look at her position, the bouquet. That would be 32, 8, 16, 24, 32. What is 32? The house of the moon. We're back to secret and shadow. And then finally, the ring, that deal, which is position 33. 33 is the key, very important. And the key itself, number 4, is in the position of the house, the White House, the keys to the White House. A deal. Russia, which is the bear, in position 34, is the house of the fish, a business deal, finances. And then the moon, 35, would be in the anchor. We're anchoring those secrets. So as we end a little bit this reading, what did we learn? I'm going to do a recap. And I let you visualize this a little bit before I stop sharing. So what do we see? We see that this is a person who really had lots of opportunistic point of view, a lot of flip-flops, a lot of the snake being very false in a number of occasions in her deals. We see a deal with Russia. We see business dealings. We see foreign deals with other leaders. We see the connection with Musk, the triangle between Gabbard, Musk, and Trump. We see something from overseas that goes from dark to shadow and the dark to the sun, which is being exposed, secret deals being exposed, and that pushing Trump into decisions regarding the White House or transformation of his presidency. I'm not saying that it makes him leave, but it pushing him into direction because something will be exposed. And I feel like it ties to Russia, as we saw, and it ties to the deals that were made literally at the bottom, in the basement, in the underworld. Musk stays above the fray on top. She's working clear top with Trump. And what he's not seeing just yet is the impact of her dealings and the impact it's going to have on him and the presidency. So now I hope you've been as fascinated that I've been with this reading. Please, please, I want to hear your thoughts. There's so many layers into this that I would love for you to share. What you saw, what you didn't understand, what you would like me to explain. If you like this type of reading, I've put a bit of effort to really go into the details of this because I wanted to share with you step by step how to read this type of tableau and the amount of information we can validate and get on. This is really fascinating for me. I know you really like this type of information on the channel. So I thank you for watching, telling your friends, liking, subscribing, and I see you very, very soon. Thank you, everyone.